From the halls of assembly, you'll hear us scream and shout. Our love of Indiana is manic and devout. Everything I you we discuss in unique manner. We won't be satisfied until we hang another banner. Us two goofy guys go by names of Ward and Eric, and as you probably know by now, we're Hoosier Hysterics. Hoosier Hysterics. Hoosier Hysterics.
Hello, Ward.
Hello, Eric.
It's Flashback Day.
Fernando Flashback.
Fernando Flashback.
And already people are skipping ahead to get to Fernando.
Before you do, though, we are, as always,
Powered by
CommunityCars.com, sponsor of the pod, Hoosier Hysterics. CommunityCars.com, Hoosier Legends talk with Ward and Eric. CommunityCars.com.
and Fade Out Community Cars. It's where you go for all your car needs. Somebody who's working for me in my day job, she's buying a new car. She's got very specific needs. She wants it used. She has a specific brand. She has color. I told her, oh, you need a certain color? Guess what? I know a place. They got all the colors. She's buying her car from Community Cars.
Spectacular. Look, this is a bonus episode, right? We're not slacking. We're not trying to ride on the coattails of something we did a year ago, but it's Fernando Mania in America. And we were so lucky to get to talk to this young man before he became a superstar. And look, we've got to know him even better over the course of the year, like all of America, with his incredible post-game interviews, his post-game press conferences. He's just, on Jimmy Fallon, on the Today Show. But we were so fortunate before the storm of celebrity hit to get to talk to him before he became a household name for like an hour and just really get to know this guy.
And the best thing about it when you watch this is he's the same guy. He didn't become something different because of the success and the attention. He didn't modulate, he didn't like calculate what he should be. We talked to him before he ever really started playing as an Indiana Hoosier. I think he had been on the field with a couple of the guys at that point. Is that right?
Yeah, I think he'd met everybody. I don't know if they'd actually gotten any practices in at the time we had this conversation.
Yeah, because it was real early to the commitment, but you could just tell the same exuberance, the same enthusiasm, the same innocence. He's Fernando, and I love it. And it's so fun to go back and see what he was a year ago. And everything he says has increased meaning because of what has happened. So hope you enjoy it as much as we do.
Here comes our guest. Here comes our guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're always happy to welcome a new Hoosier into the family. But this Hoosier has us all extra excited. Eric, please give us some real details on who this gentleman is.
Hailing from Miami, Florida, where he attended Christopher Columbus High School, which is just a great name for a high school, by the way. It just sounds important. It sounds like what you would name like a Disney show's high school back in like the 90s. It would have been Christopher Columbus High School, but whatever. He was, of course, tabbed first team All-Dade County when he was at Christopher Columbus. But I got to tell you, he was a stud football player. Everybody knows that. Stud quarterback. Threw for a shit ton of touchdowns and yards. But I want to focus on a couple other things I found out about him that I think are really impressive. He was his campus ministry's president. He was school vice president. He was the founding member of an organization called They Can Too, dedicated to helping and spreading awareness of youth in need. He organized a Cuban relief service trip in which he and his grandfather, Alberto Espino, went to Cuba to give back to their native community and family members. This dude is unbelievable. He was kind of overlooked a little coming out of high school. He was only ranked the 72nd best quarterback. Ha ha, joke's on you, number 1 to 71. And he went up from where Ward and I live. He went up to Northern California, where he went to Berkeley and Cal. He redshirted his first year, took over in his redshirt freshman year, was Pac-12 Offensive Freshman of the Year honorable mention. In 2024, redshirt sophomore season, 3-time ACC Quarterback of the Week, produced just the 9th 3,000-yard passing season in Cal history, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in 21 games for Berkeley, 20 starts, 4,712 yards, 30 touchdowns, 66.5% completion percentage. And then after this last year, entered the transfer portal to make the greatest decision he's ever made in his entire life, which was to join Coach Cignetti and the boys down in Bloomington, where he's got to earn it, but he's probably the starting quarterback for the next couple of years in Bloomington. Please welcome to the podcast for the first and hopefully not last time, Fernando Mendoza.
Well, thank you guys so much. That was a hell of an introduction. And definitely in the 90s, Christopher Columbus could have been a Disney high school name. Definitely not now, though. But
no, now they would rip it off the building.
No,
now
it would be canceled.
He's been canceled.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it still called Christopher Columbus High School, or did they change the name?
It is still called Christopher Columbus High School.
Right.
Just because the history it has and the high school history. But I will say I really appreciate you guys having me on the podcast. My little brother been in Indiana, and I've actually, my grandfather watches this podcast, so to kind of keep up with Indiana football news. So nice. It's great, and really appreciate you guys having me on. And I'm really excited to be a Hoosier.
Fernando, awesome. Your vibe is so strong, even over Zoom. The joy, the energy, is that you? Is that you all the time? Is that how you just came into this world, just happy and positive? Because I would follow you onto the gridiron. That's is that from your parents? Where does this come from?
Yeah, so a positive attitude is extremely important and essential for myself in any form of leadership and just a way of life. My mom, it actually stems from my mom. My mom has a disease called multiple sclerosis, where she's essentially paralyzed, but she is so tough and so strong, and she's the happiest person I know.
Wow.
And the person with the most positive attitude. So it inspires me to have the best attitude possible. And, she's like my best friend, and I really look up to her, and she's an inspiration to me. And so that's where it comes from. But I believe when you have a positive attitude, you're able to have infectious energy towards others, which leads to good results on the football field and off the field.
Can I ask,
wow.
When did that diagnosis happen?
Yeah, so I actually don't know a specific date about it, but it's something that my family and I, that we hold very dearly to our hearts, and our mom is the heartbeat of our family, so we love her dearly.
I feel like this is just based off of who you are, Fernando. This is going to be our best podcast ever.
Of all time.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, so let's get into a little bit of what is going on with your life right now. Who just walked behind you?
Alberto Mendoza just walked right by.
The great younger brother. Get him on here. Bring him in here. Say hi.
Yeah, come
Alberto.
On. Yeah.
Alberto.
How you doing?
Alberto, Get in here, Alberto. Get in here. Get in here.
Look at these guys. Oh, this is trouble.
Great. All right. So, Alberto, we're going to embarrass your brother real quick. 3 words to describe him. 3 words.
Intelligent. I don't even know.
I don't think of too many nice words.
Somewhat athletic.
Somewhat athletic is 2, so you did 3. Intelligent and somewhat athletic.
Somewhat athletic. That's 3. There we go.
All right, Alberto, we got to get you on the show too sometime soon, buddy.
Awesome. I'd love to do it.
All right, awesome, man. Thanks so much.
Good to see you, brother.
Right, so
thanks for the kind words, bro.
No problem.
Tell us what's going on in your life, like right now. You're in Bloomington. What is life like for you right now?
Yeah, so life is great right now. I'm in Bloomington. My little brother, as you saw, me and my little brother are roommates. We're getting together. We're studying the playbook together, as he was in the offense last year. So he's been an integral part of myself assimilating to the culture, assimilating to the guys on the team, introducing me to the guys on the team, be able to hang out with them on and off the field. And then also right now we're just, we're setting up. We built a couple beds the other day. So they're a lot harder than you think. It's building a bed. It says 15 minutes on the little instruction, and it usually takes an hour. So
yeah.
Maybe it was just my first time building a bed, but it wasn't Legos per se.
Let's dive right into that juicy conversation, which was probably many conversations over a long period of time. No doubt, Alberto's time and experience and feelings about the IU program were instrumental in bringing you into the Hoosier fold. Can you talk about that through when you were in Berkeley and he was in Bloomington, and how it came to this point where you're now roommates in the greatest city on earth?
Yeah. So, I really loved my time at Cal. I got a lot from it, and I'm forever grateful for the community at Berkeley, the coaches at Cal, my teammates, everything around that part. So, however, after 4 different OCs and quarterback coaches in 3 years, I decided that it was time to move on, especially as the biggest criticism and evaluation part that I got for myself wasn't, the intangibles, wasn't all this stuff. It was the development. They said, hey, you're a raw prospect and you need to be developed. You need to be developed. Like, you need to be coached hard, and we need to see it translate on the field.
This is from NFL talent evaluators.
This is from NFL sources, and so, and then also getting my degree from Berkeley is extremely important for myself. So that's amazing. So after that, it was kind of after that, I decided to go in the transfer portal. It was a heartbreaking decision for me because, a lot of great people over there at Cal. But in the process, there was a couple of teams that emerged as front runners. But it all came down to not looking at the smoke and mirrors, not looking at what was going to look attractive on a commitment post or what's going to bring hype preseason about. It's what can I do, or what situation can I put myself in to make Fernando Mendoza the best possible quarterback that he can be. And so the development piece with Coach Cignetti, Coach Shanahan, and the new quarterback coach, Coach Whitmer, it was hard. I mean, it truly was undeniable. And hearing my little brother's perspective on Coach Cignetti and really having the inside, scoop of what he's really like and what the offense is really like and what the culture is really like, really attracted me, because on the recruiting business, you can say whatever, you know what I mean? I could say that, it's recruiting. It's recruiting, and especially in the transfer portal window. The transfer portal window is so small.
Right.
These kids, all the high school kids, have a huge amount of time to, go throughout
years.
Yeah. And this might seem a little negative, but personally, I think it is a little too short. But that's what played IU an advantage, because I had so much information that I gathered from IU. I knew all the talent in and out, who's coming back, who are the integral pieces, who are the integral losses, how the locker room culture is going to be, just kind of how the inner workings of the structure. And with all that information, me and Alberto talking it over and, deciding it's the best thing for our family that we're both at the same college, best thing for both of our development that they were the same college. It was truly a great decision for myself.
Was the first time you met Coach Cignetti when you came to campus for your visit?
Yeah.
And it was. How would you talk to us about that visit?
Yeah, so Coach Cignetti is a great coach, and you've seen his success, especially with quarterbacks in the past, and that was extremely attractive to myself, as development was, the number one criteria on my board. So when I met him, the best thing about him is that he's extremely direct, and there's no room for gray area as far as, whether it's talent, whatever it is. There's no room for gray area, and I think that allows a culture to develop with honesty, transparency, and true connections, rather than saying, hey, like, I think you're going to start this year, and telling the other guy, hey, I think you're going to, start this year as well. That can create, a little conflicting in the locker room and scenarios like that. But I just liked how direct he was, because if he's like, hey, Fernando, he's like, hey, Fernando, we think you're a great player. You need to work on this. This is how we're going to get you better at this. So that stuff is great to hear. And it's really cool to hear that, Coach Cignetti being so direct and such a great football mind. Always watching film and just being so intelligent.
Well, and I'm sure he gave you specifics of this, and this, and you had some of your own in mind. So if you don't mind sharing some of those things you really are focused on developing, that we can all look forward to seeing the fruits of in the fall, what's the focus for both of you collaboratively?
Yeah, collaboratively. For sure, I think that the two main things I think that my development needs, I would say that, first of all, footwork is an integral part. You can always get better at footwork. That's why in any sport, it always sets you up, and that's the great fundamentals of the game. Myself, that's something that I'm striving to get better at throughout, the system, and really learning with the rhythm and time and anticipation within the system. Anticipation is something that I pride myself on, but being able to have the footwork to time up with it leads you to always stable, strong, and accurate throws. And that's something that I believe that I do, but the consistency of it is what's important. And that's why you see guys like Joe Burrow who are just unstoppable, and Tom Brady, who are just unstoppable at the next level. And they're not always making these crazy plays like, Josh Allen or Mahomes, but they're always so stable. Their footwork always times up. They're always throwing it before the receiver breaks. Not 70% of the time, not 80, but 100% of the time. And that's something that separates the good, great, and all-time great quarterbacks. So that's something that I'm always looking to strive on. And yeah.
Walk us through when you decide to commit to Indiana. Did you do it on the visit? There was a lot, like you had a lot of schools coming after you and a lot of, like you said, hyped big names. I want to know about the moment that you told. Who did you tell first? Did you tell Coach Cignetti? Did you tell your brother
Had to
first?
be Alberto.
So my family and I, we talked about it. And of course, you need to get clearance from the family. There's a lot of family discussions. It's a family decision. I mean, family community is extremely important to me. But the first IU person that I called was Coach Cignetti.
So tell us about that call.
Yeah. So at that point, it was a couple other schools. At that point, I had visited Georgia, Mizzou, and then just had been on phone calls with Miami. And so out of those, it was really between. I mean, it was really between all those schools, and my heart just told me Indiana, and not only my heart, but just my criteria of going through all the different criteria as far as development, quarterback coaching, talent around you. You know what I mean? Locker room culture, and just all these different, probably 10 criteria that I had weighted in different calibers. Indiana was, it was just pulsating at the top. So after that, I called Coach Cignetti. I mean, I'm glad he was excited. So
when you make a phone call, like that, do you immediately say, "Hey, Coach, it's Fernando, I'm coming," or do you make him sweat a little bit?
Yeah, I'm definitely not trying to make my future head coach sweat. I mean, whatever it is. I mean, I would say that in recruiting, you need to ask hard questions. You need to ask hard questions. You got to. It's a business nowadays. You got to ask hard questions about, hey, what's the team looking like next year? Why did this guy leave? Blank, blank, blank. Just like genuine questions to every coach, to every recruiting. Just you need to know all the information before. But when I called him, I was like, hey, Coach, let's get it done. I'm coming, kind of deal.
And what was his reaction?
Oh, he was like, let's go, finally, kind of deal. So it was, but no, it was a great reaction, and I'm really looking forward to it. So
well, awesome. And I mean, he knows his talking points on the recruiting trail, especially
for sure
when he's sitting on a national television show with Pat or whoever else discussing it. But facts are facts, and he's had this great history of developing quarterbacks, going back to JMU. So I would have to imagine, when you're seeing even with Curtis Rourke going from the MAC, taking the jump to the Big Ten and going up, there's just got to be. There's so much empirical evidence of what he's done. It's like, how many offensive player of the year in a row did he have with that kind of thing? When that dovetails with the specifics of what you're looking for, and then I think your honesty about what's the decision really about? Making you the best quarterback you can possibly be, which in a lot of ways is also the most unselfish thing you could do, because that's what's gonna make everybody around you better.
Yeah, for sure. And especially in today's day and age of college football, there's always, there's a big elephant in the room. There's always the hype. There's always the extra, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean? There's always going to be, especially in the transfer portal nowadays, how crazy it is. There's going to be fake promises. There's going to be, money. There's going to be a lot of things involved. But like you said, the biggest thing for me was putting myself in the place that I'm going to develop the best.
Has anyone yet, this is what I would do if I were running the actual, the moment where they're really discussing money. Has anybody put a silver briefcase on the table, opened it up, and it's filled with cash? Has that happened yet on any visit or any Zoom or anything? Has that moment happened yet?
No, it definitely hasn't happened. I did learn a negotiation class at the power of cash, seeing it in eye is definitely better than just talking about it in numbers. But that's just, I know Kelly's a great business school here. That's just, a little Kelly pointer I got from Alberto Mendoza. But, it's, people talk about it, but money was not, it wasn't on my 10 list.
Wow.
It wasn't on my 10 list. And, you know, my 10 list did change. And at some point it was 9, it was 10. Because at some point you're not going to like, if theoretically some school is going to pay you 10 times more than another school. And they're similar in ranking, like similar in and all the other criteria. It's something that you can come down to in the 9th ranking, like maybe like a super, like those games that go up to 10 overtime tiebreakers.
Right.
But it never ended up getting to that. Especially with Indiana and, you know, other schools that I visited and were considering were great options, and I believe all those schools are going to have very successful seasons. But I mean, for me, those top 5 were so heavily weighted that no matter what those.
So can you tell us?
And the bag you're concerned is your second contract after your rookie contract is up in the pros. That's what you're looking towards
for sure. And it's not. I also just enjoy playing football, and it's going to satisfy myself to see myself improve.
So
I believe that I'm improved every year. But yeah.
So development was clearly one of the top 5, right?
Yeah. So
culture.
So now I can tell you right now. Well, I can tell you 1 through 5 because 6 through 10 they changed.
Tell us 1 through 5.
But 1 through 5 is a little bit more concise. So number 1 is quarterback development, and not quarterback development in just the offensive scheme. You need to have a detailed scheme. You need to have things that are able to translate to the NFL. You need to have things that at the same time are going to be successful in college.
Okay.
At the same time, they're going to be able to you need to have an intricate understanding of, and it's not just an air raid system where you're going. It's not an air raid system per se.
Okay.
So the development of the system. So that was number 1. Number 2 was quarterback coaching, especially with, the quarterback coaching and quarterback grooming per se. I know it's not a great word to use, but quarterback grooming that you have is like essential. That's why you see Lincoln Riley put out, a couple of Heisman winners, and all those guys are all great quarterbacks, but at the same time, they have the quarterback whisperers or whatever you want to tell them, whatever you want to say to put that. And with, Coach Cig's, Coach Shanahan, they're all the previous success in the entire, all their quarterbacks. And I know the departure of Coach Tino was extremely saddening, as Alberto loved him, and I think he's a great coach. And I was able to talk to him on the recruiting trail a little bit, and I love him. But Chandler Whitmer, coming from being the passing game coordinator from the Falcons, is an extremely important part as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you the NFL component of that. Like, you have a guy coming in to be the quarterback coach who spent time in the NFL. How key was that for you, and how quickly were you able to build a relationship with Coach Whitmer?
Yeah, so I was able to build a good relationship with him, and I believe he's an amazing coach, and right now he's on the recruiting trail trying to get the future of the Hoosiers all said and done. But that is essential. That's essential. And the college game and the NFL game are different. The hashes and the geometry of the game, they do play. It is a different game. But as far as quarterback coaching and as far as the things that I needed to improve on, and when he was able to recruit me, and we watched, and even when I got here, we were able to watch a cut up, be like 50 plays, and we're able to, one comparison, have my play, another comparison, the NFL play, kind of, hey, like, what you did wrong, here's how you do it right. Or, hey, here's what you did right, and look at the NFL doing it right. Look at Justin Herbert. He was also with the Chargers. So It's great to kind of see those comparisons, and it just, it's really enticing for myself to be able to be with a guy every day who has coached Justin Herbert, has coached Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins, and at the same time have that NFL experience to know what it takes. And then when that time rolls around, obviously the first goal is winning a ton of games. Here at the college level. It's not like we're not foreshadowing, Like the worst advice I got is the worst thing you can do about the NFL is thinking about your draft stock or thinking about when are you going to get at the NFL. My whole thing is being present in the moment. Right. But in that recruiting moment, foreshadowing, it was like, this is going to be a good quarterback development. So quarterback coach was number 2. Number 3 was supporting cast. Supporting cast makes everybody better. You see all the great college quarterbacks, like you see Joe Burrow, great supporting. These guys are all phenomenal quarterbacks. Joe Burrow is like one of the best quarterbacks for time. He has a great supporting cast. All the really, really good all the high draft picks and all quarterback draft picks in general. If you get drafted by a team, you usually have a good supporting cast.
Right.
Whatever in the quarterback in the last 5 years, you usually have a good supporting cast. And then number 4 was the culture. It was the culture, the locker room, how I meshed with the guys.
Yeah. Can I ask, though, how did your brother describe the culture? When you
Yeah.
talk to Alberto, how
Yeah.
does he describe the culture of IU football?
Yeah. So a big thing with IU football is that there's a ton of other teams that do a lot of, how do I say it? Like, I wouldn't say like maybe off season, but it's like a little, like, I don't know if it's tacky, but it's cool. We did it at Cal. It was great. But a lot of like these like team bonding things that you see all over the social media pages and stuff. But he said that the Indiana locker room was extremely tight. It was extremely tight. And not only was the team extremely tight, the office was extremely tight, and his quarterback room last year was extremely tight. And all of those things and the stories that he's told me about the locker room and it is the culture and types of guys that when I visited, I was able to see how those guys would fit in. And, it was, I saw that the culture was, it was up there with other schools that I visited.
So in a general term, it's like how it feels, like the vibe. You just walk into that room and you're talking with the guys and feeling the vibe, and that is kind of what the culture boils down to, because we know you got to work hard and you got to be, taking things one day at a time and wanting to improve and push yourself. But ultimately it feels like it's a feeling as much of an intellectual decision.
Yeah, for sure. And a big thing with the culture is that the one big thing that I left out is that not that everybody believes. Everybody believes, everyone's bought in. Evidently, you need to do the extra work. You need to do all these things to gain respect. And the locker room's a diverse place. I'm not characterizing the locker room as Indiana's locker room is this type and Georgia's is this type and Miami's or Mizzou's is this type per se. It's not so much of a cookie cutter answer like, because every locker room is extremely diverse. You have 100 kids on the team.
Right.
So I'm like, everybody's you're gonna be able to get along with a lot of guys in the locker room because they're all football guys. They're all similar. But it's more about when you go in the locker room, the culture, are people talking about, I can't wait to get out of here 2 more years and I leave, or, oh my God, this is great. Let's go Indiana football per se. Or what are people focused on? Obviously, there's gonna be great, and there's gonna be great people in every locker room. There's gonna be all different types of people in every locker room. But when you have the majority of the culture, especially from the top leadership, instilling that confidence in the rest of the team and being the ones that are vocal leaders and the ones that are instilling the confidence in Indiana football. Not saying, this guy on this other school is getting, this paid. This other guy's getting more exposure because he's in the SEC or ACC or whatever. It's not. It really showed a lot of character to the Indiana locker room and the leaders on the team.
Have you met Elijah Surratt yet?
Yeah, of course.
Did he introduce himself as Waffle House?
So I know he calls himself that because he's 24/7, always open. Elijah's a great guy along with all the receivers. We've been hanging out and we've been all been lifting, been throwing, been also been able to hang out with him outside of football. And he's great. That's the part of the supporting cast, the receiving core that we have coming back.
Yes,
it's crazy and it's stacked. You have Elijah, you have Coop, you have EJ Williams, you have all the transfers, McCaw, you just have everybody. You have Timo. I can just go on Charlie Becker. Like, you just have so many great receiving weapons that you have here. And even throwing routes on air, it amazed me. I'm like, wow, this is a great group and this is a lot of talent. It's awesome. A lot of firepower.
Well, and in the off season, we know spring ball will be here before we know it, and there is almost kind of no off season now. But are you guys already at a place where you can be like, hey guys, tomorrow 3:00, let's get together, you and the receivers, and just get some throws in? Because I go back, I was raised on Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, right, and Reggie Wayne, and just the work those guys would put in outside of practice. Yeah. Right? Like, is that what is that what happens in January and early February when you're trying to get to know these guys?
Yeah. For example, I'm pull this up real quick, but for example, like this, like our strength and conditioning coach, Coach Owens, great coach, phenomenal. I've already felt myself getting stronger, and that's all. I mean, that's also another reason to physically develop as a self.
Yeah.
Still, I feel like I'm a big guy, like weight wise, like 225, 6'4.5", but I can still. I have a lot more to my frame. If that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
That I can get, stronger legs, more power on the ball, and he was also another big part of why I came. But for example, like today, Wednesday, he's off, and obviously he doesn't want the receiver running routes, but spot catching, and we just texted in the offensive skill group chat saying, "Hey, spot catching at 9 tomorrow in the indoor," and all the eligible receivers showed up. I mean, everybody showed up.
Awesome.
Everybody showed up, and it was good. I mean, all the quarterbacks were there, and it was good stuff, and we're just working on some top of the route concepts and stuff like that. And I mean, that, like you said, the Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison extra work is crucial. And that's something I actually learned. I had the pleasure to go into the Manning Passing Academy last year.
Nice.
And
do tell.
Yeah, it was great. And, he was talking about off-season work, and usually what a lot of quarterbacks, how do I say, and I want to say struggle with, but the sentiment is that when you throw routes on air, you're going to go through the whole route tree. Peyton Manning, what he says, what he developed later in his NFL career, Marvin Harrison, and the reason he was able to get the anticipation and chemistry with him was that he would only work on 3 routes or 2 routes per throwing session after practice. He's like, hey, let's get 5 out routes. So in his mind, he's really able to get that timing, get that anticipation, really able to understand that specific break of the out route. So he's like, hey, when Marvin Harrison is making this out route, I know exactly how he's going to cut because I've seen it 5 times in a row. Rather than Peyton Manning's a great quarterback. Ooh, first throw, pretty good throw. All right, next route, let's go. So that's something that that we're working on, and it's a little different now just because the receivers they're spot catching because we got the main focus is getting bigger and stronger right now.
Oh,
and
okay.
and we trust the formula that Coach Owens puts. Is you can see they have a winning formula right there. So.
I'm going to ask a really stupid question.
Cool.
You've been using a word that I just don't even understand what you're saying. Are you saying spot casting?
Oh, spot catching. Sorry.
Spot catching?
Excuse myself. Yes, spot catching. The receivers can't run the full route, so they'll run like a top of the route.
Okay.
So for like a curl route, they'll run like the last. They'll like not jump, like kind of walk the last 2 routes, two steps of the route. They'll catch the ball, tuck it, give it back, and then we'll keep on.
So you don't have to go back to the line each time.
And they're seeing the ball fly. They're tracking the ball.
Wow.
And it's better than just catching jugs.
So what's the concern about them running the full route?
Just load management.
Got it.
I mean, these guys want to get after it so bad, especially and we're pushing our bodies to the max in these winter workour
Got it.
These winter workouts we're just pushing our bodies and lifting and running. And the last thing is if our coach has something planned for us heavy Thursday, he doesn't want us to come in Thursday morning like, oh, we ran 50 routes yesterday.
Right.
That's much for the quarterback because I'm just sitting back there, I'm doing some drops, throwing. So I mean, I'm like, hey, Coach, I'm a little tired too, but.
But do you? I've always wondered this about quarterbacks. Obviously, there is strain on your arm every time you throw it.
Yeah.
Do you have like a number of throws that you allow yourself to make every day?
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit more of a feel thing as far as I know the range. I'm not counting every specific throw, but the important part of that is warming up extensively before, and then also doing a warm down, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Along with, after doing maintenance and treatment before any of those arm issues appear. And that's a big thing, especially as you want to have the most juice on the ball as possible, but you also want to have just a healthy arm, especially in this point of the season. It's January. Like, the last thing you want to be worrying about is a hurt arm for overthrowing in January when the season's in August, September.
All right.
Next January.
Let's step off the football field for a second and just get to know Fernando as a human being. When you were a kid, like I'm talking 5, 6, 7, 10, what was Fernando into? Not football related. What were you into? Movies, TV? What were you into?
Yeah, so I'm a lot. I love the outdoors and love the outdoors. My brother and I, we always were, we were always hunting, fishing, biking, me and our little brother, I mean, at an early age, every day we had like football practice for middle school in the summers. It would always end around 10:30, 8 to 10:30. We'd come back home, and for most of the days, we would just go pick mangoes from our grandpa's backyard and just ask the neighbors for their mangoes, and we go around in a little wagon selling mangoes. So,
Awesome.
So anything that involved outdoors, you always just try to keep ourselves busy. And so whether it's playing water balloons or just, playing pickup basketball at the University of Miami, whatever it was, we were always just trying to do something active and fun. And occasionally, I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna lie to you here. I mean, we definitely, me and my little brother get in some heated gaming battles sometimes, especially when it starts winding down. But
What games?
Well, I mean, back then, I mean, we're talking about childhood here. I mean, we love like Lego Star Wars,
Nice.
Yes.
the whole saga. I mean, this is a prime 2-player game right here. He's Anakin, I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're grinding these things out. And
my son is 10 and he's in that era right now.
Yeah,
all the Lego games,
era.
specifically Star Wars Saga right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great game. And then you get into the Pirates of the Caribbean, and I mean, it's just a whole whirlwind of things now. We have a little brother, Max, who's 13 years old now, and I mean, it's totally changed. It's Fortnite now, and NCAA, which is pretty fun because you see Alberto Mendoza on the big screen. So it's good stuff.
Nice.
Now, I'm sorry, I have an obligatory question for anybody from the greater Miami area. Have you ever visited my favorite place on earth? It's a little wilderness retreat called Monkey Jungle. Yes? No?
Well, are you talking about Parrot Jungle?
No. Monkey Jungle. It's about 20 to 30 minutes east of Miami.
You see, now, I mean,
and it's
I'm
a
sorry.
sanctuary.
I apologize for going on my phone, but I think I know what this is.
It's a sanctuary for primates where humans are caged and the monkeys roam free.
Wow.
I will tell you, you are the second person from Miami that Ward has asked this question, and you are the second person to not really know the place. There is a better than 0% chance Ward has made this place up.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Fernando's finding
this place
it, right?
is real, and I believe I've been here one time. But if I'm being honest, it's probably like some random Saturday when I was in 7th grade. So I remember Monkey Jungle because it's a little more south than where I'm from.
Yeah,
but
like southwest, right?
Yeah, it is southwest, but
southeast.
But my brother and I used to play on a 7-on-7 team down there, and we would always get off in the exit called Monkey Jungle. So we were near it, but that region over there, the more west you get, the more Everglades you get, is a region that we're also familiar with.
When Ward said it's southwest, it can't be southeast because then you're in the ocean.
It could be an island. It could be an island.
And maybe Atlantis. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. I want to talk to you about some of your community outreach stuff because I was so impressed reading about it. It's clearly something important to you. But I want to talk specifically about your grandfather and your Cuban heritage. How important is that to you and to your family?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Cuban heritage is an essential part. I mean, evidently, if I'm being honest with you, I mean, I don't really look Cuban. Like, that's just the elephant in the room. I don't look Cuban, but my name is Fernando Mendoza. All four of my grandparents are all born and raised in Cuba. I'm second. Wow. Me and my little brother are all my brothers are second generation Cuban.
When did your grandpa come over after the revolution?
As far as like after the
like in the 60s?
He came over when he was around, in his I would say like in early 20s before.
So probably around when Castro took over.
Yeah, when Castro really kind of gave a little bit of a grace period, like, hey, get out or stay kind of deal. And that's my family got out of there. But I mean, I've visited. We still have, some relatives over there. I mean, and it was an extremely, I would say, inspiring trip. And it was, I mean, honestly, it was a little sad, but it was great to see the two different ways of life. And I made myself realize how much of a blessing that I have to be able to live, in the situation that I'm in the United States. So, but I mean, Cuba is a beautiful place, like nature wise, and it's a beautiful place. The cars over there are great. I mean, everything's great. I mean, it is. If I'm being honest, I mean, don't want to get people go on a football podcast, but it is. I mean, it is a little sad for myself just to see, relatives over there, struggling. I mean, that's just how it is. But community, like you said, community is extremely important part for myself. And those were some, like you said earlier, some high school community outreach things that I did. But, I try to lead that into college, and it's all about not the community that I used to do. It's about the next community thing that I can do, as I believe I'm so fortunate. My family's fortunate to be blessed in a position to be able to play football. And I was able to do a couple great community events over there in Berkeley. And so I look forward to doing anything that they have it here in Bloomington. And in Berkeley, I was able to, sorry to go on this rant, but in Berkeley, I was able to do 2 real big community service things. One was a Golden Buddies camp where Cal football and myself and my old tight end, Jack Endries, and one of my older teammates, Miles Williams, we hosted a special needs football clinic where we got 50 of the guys, the football guys, like basically half the team to come out. We basically ran a little football camp, like a kids camp, basically.
Awesome.
Kids camp, did a bunch of fun challenges and stuff like that. And it was great. We had over 100 kids show up with all the parents and stuff like that. So it was great. And then, as I talked about before, my mom's extremely important part of my life. And I was able to, although I'm not Mexican, I do love Mexican food. And Alberto says he gets that people mix them up a little bit, but although I'm not Mexican, I do love Mexican food. And there was a local burrito shop called La Burrita. And I was just, I was friends with employees, and we ended up getting a Mendoza burrito where all the proceeds went to the National MS Society.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
So that was pretty cool. As when college game day came to Berkeley last year, it was pretty cool because they had some Mendoza burritos given out. That was cool.
That is awesome. Your love of community and kind of giving back. You're clearly a guy who gives of himself to the people and community around him. And I think that for the world, we saw that firsthand in that game against Stanford, where you had that unbelievable comeback, 98-yard drive. You end up winning the game to go 6-6 and be bowl eligible. And then you gave what became a viral interview with the TV network where you are just emoting. You are just feeling it. No, I loved it, man. I mean, it showed how much you cared. Yeah. Can you just walk us through kind of what that moment meant to you? And I recommend everybody going online, if you haven't seen it, and just searching for it. It's a great moment of what sports can be at their best. What was that moment like for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a special moment. It was a special moment. And I mean, first, I want to say that I really appreciate the praise in the community. I'm always trying to get better. I'm not going to paint it out like I'm some angel. I'm always striving to get better at the community service, Like I would say most of the times, whenever the restaurant gives a little, do you want to round up 20 cents? I usually try to press it, I don't know if I do, not all the time, but I try to.
Well, let me just say something, Fernando. With the NIL deal that you just signed, you better hit it all the time. You better hit it all the time.
For sure. I mean, living in California is a little expensive.
That's true. That's true.
I'm joking. I would always try to do that. But yeah, the Stanford was. I mean, that's our rival, and it's been, I believe, for 127 years, and it's like one of the best rivalries in college football. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm obviously really excited to play our rival, Purdue, this season.
There you go.
Really excited. But rivalry games, they mean more, and that was the game to make us bowl eligible. I mean, there's a lot of things that go throughout the offseason. It's not just suiting up and playing Saturdays. It's all the work that you put in throughout the entire year, the culmination of all the offseason work, all the extra throwing sessions, all the grit, determination, sweat, and tears that your teammates and yourself combine and put into a final product on Saturdays. And that being a comeback win, a rival game to make us bowl eligible, felt like that was a peak of our, I want to say unlucky, but I mean, because nothing comes down to luck. I mean, luck, but it was a little bit of an unlucky, I would say, season as far as, having so many close games and stuff like that. To finally see our team catch a break per se and experience probably a good amount of success in that game was extremely special to me, and just how much my teammates cared, and it just makes me care as well. And I believe that if you care about your teammates, you're going to care about you. And it was just, I mean, I kind of blacked out and my emotions took over. But it was an extremely happy point, and
Have you watched it?
happy.
Have you watched?
Yeah, I watched it. So I deleted social media over the season, and then I actually saw it in the locker room after. And for a second, I kind of cringed. I was like, oh, but at the same point, I was like, this is great because,
it's real.
It's real. It's real.
Yeah.
It's maybe, yeah. And so it was real, and it was great, and
Love it.
Good stuff.
Well, and that's the time and the place for the emotion to just overwhelm you and let it all hang out and show people who you really are beneath that helmet, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And you should never lose that. But when you're out there on the field and you're leading a 98-yard drive to win over your rival and become bowl eligible, how do you keep cool? Is it just like something you were born with? You don't get flustered, or is it something like other skills you've had to develop on how to stay calm under pressure?
Yeah, so I would say that pressure, I mean, it's definitely a real thing. I mean, the game-winning drive, game-winning throw, but it's important to realize that every play has pressure. Every play is an important play. That play in the second quarter, when it's 2nd and 8, that could be the deciding play of the game.
Yep.
So it's not to take all those plays for granted. And when the 1 minute drill happens, you're like, okay, I got to not lock in, but this is a pressure moment. And it's a quarterback. It's really important to stay cool and calm at all times, especially, I mean, there needs to be some times that I play a little emotional. You got to inspire your teammates, and that's a big thing. But at the same time, you don't want to be a roller coaster. Personally, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be a little bit like this but you don't want to be a roller coaster, overreacting for every touchdown. And then when something doesn't go your way, you throw your helmet in the stands,
Right.
So I always try to, maintain a positive attitude no matter what, and just take each play as its present play. I can't control the past play, and I can't control the next play. So just to do that play, what I can.
Favorite movie of all time?
Wow, it depends. I mean, can we get a genre here? I mean, there's a lot of good movies.
Sci-fi.
Oh, sci-fi. I mean, sci-fi Star Wars. Sci-fi Star Wars. I also watched Interstellar today. That's a great movie. I mean, there's a ton of great sci-fi movies.
Comedy.
Man, comedy. There's a lot of good comedies. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good comedy movies. I don't want to give too controversial an answer here.
Oh, please.
But I mean,
Hysterics.
No, I mean, I know, but
you think this is a controversial answer?
Yeah, I mean, comedies. There's a lot of great comedy.
All right, how about TV shows? Favorite TV show?
Oh, great favorite TV shows. I mean, wow, I don't watch too much TV. I will say I don't watch too much TV, but I mean, to get back to the comedy, I would either say Superbad for sure, like Superbad, or maybe Tropic Thunder.
Great. Okay. Great calls.
Yeah.
Both of
music.
Them.
Who's heavy in rotation? Maybe an all-time favorite go-to?
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. The Internship. I like The Internship too.
The Internship. Wow.
Oh,
great.
Yeah, that's a deeper cut, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, good one.
Good one.
All right, music.
I would love to say that, I'm a big music guy, but honestly, my little brother controls the aux in the car whenever we go anywhere.
What does he play? What's on the playlist?
He's a variety of things. I mean, it's kind of like the Indiana locker room. You get a little bit of rap, you get a little bit of country.
Nice.
And I mean, it's a good mix. So
all right,
I see my little brother's in a little bit more of the countryside, but it's everything.
Favorite food.
Wow. I mean, I would be wrong to say not a Cuban food.
Go ahead.
I love Cuban food in general. I mean, that's like the top. I say Mexican and Cuban food are two of my favorite foods.
Okay.
But I would say any type of hamburger I like. I mean, that's just great. The other day I went to what was it called?
Hinkles?
Bubba's Burgers?
It was, I haven't been to Hinkles. I need to write that down. I need to go there.
You got to check out Hinkles.
I went to Bubba's Burgers the other day, and it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, those are good burgers. Those are good burgers.
I did the 1 pound burger, so it was cool.
1 pound. It's a lot of meat.
It was a lot.
I think I can
need to
eat
gain
2
weight though. So.
All right. I got to ask you this. Fernando, love the name. Do people play the ABBA song Fernando for you often?
No, I've heard that a ton, and I'm good with whatever. I mean, there's been a lot of, the ABBA song Fernando. I mean, it's a good song. I mean, I appreciate ABBA for putting that song out because now I mean, I hear it a lot. And I like it. So I know the name
That's
Fernando
great.
is a lot of
I
things.
mean, there's no song out there called Pinkowski.
None.
Yeah.
It would be a terrible
Not
song.
yet.
Not yet.
Not
Do you
yet.
have a nickname? Do people call you Nando?
Oh yeah, people call him. I have a lot of nicknames.
All right.
So people call me Nando. Some people call me Mendoza just because that's how my last name, the jersey kind of deal. Nando. One of the nicknames I liked a lot was, I'm a Star Wars fan, so some of my friends started calling me the shout out the Rachinas, the Nandalorian.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pushing that name out there. I mean, that's my agenda. I'm really pushing.
That's the NIL shirt.
I'm like,
that's the NIL shirt. The Mandalorian.
But I know that the IU Burners have a lot of anything to do with pork in general, like Curtis, like Porky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
Porky.
it was really funny because I never had FaceTime Alberto before like their games or my games because we had a couple games. It was just Saturday nights, or it was Friday nights before the games. I would call Alberto and they would call him Porky. It'd be pretty funny. I didn't realize about Alberto Hamdoza, and all these.
That's good.
That's
good.
So
all right. Well, listen,
great.
I'm sticking with the Nandalorian.
Mhm.
Fernando, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us two idiots for a little bit to get to know you. We are so happy you're a Hoosier. We cannot wait to see you in that uniform and in the helmet and throwing that ball all over the field at Memorial Stadium. We can't wait to see it in person and root like hell for you. So happy that you're there. So happy that you're there with your brother. That's such a special experience to be able to go through this with your bro.
And special shout out to Alberto and everybody else who showed up before you to be a part of what last season was.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
last season for all of us was the football season we've been waiting our entire lives for. And only because of what that season was, in all likelihood, are you now sitting here. So shout out to little bro and everybody else who set the table so we could appeal to a guy like you.
Yeah, shout out little bro.
And one last
Big
question.
Bro.
Does your grandfather have any hookup with Cuban cigars? Because as you can tell,
I knew it.
I'm really into it. Does he have a hookup for me?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't want to like put that on the put that on the podcast. You can talk to him about that.
All right,
You can
great.
talk to
Well,
him
we'll
about
talk
that.
about it offline.
I'm
Offline.
optimistic, but you can talk to him about that.
All right, the Nandalorian. Thank you so much. Good luck the rest of winter workouts into spring ball, and before you know it, fall's going to be here. So we can't wait. And really a pleasure to meet you, man. Really a pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you guys as well.
Welcome, brother.
That was a guest. That was a guest.
So there it is. Just a delightful human being. You see so much humor there. He's got a sense of humor. He's got a self-awareness, and he's got self-confidence, which obviously grew exponentially in the season, in the system, with his coaching staff, with these guys surrounding him. And coming out of that interview, how could you not feel good about Indiana's new quarterback? But of course, not in our wildest dreams. Probably, well, maybe in his wildest dreams, and that's how he achieved them. Did we realize we were talking to the future Heisman Trophy winner who was going to become an iconic member of college football history?
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, if we had been able to go back to that interview and said, oh, hey, dude, just so you know, in 12 months, you will have won the Heisman. You'll have won the Big Ten championship. You'll have steered a 16-0 first time since 1894 college football team. You'll have won the Rose Bowl. You'll have won the Peach Bowl. You'll have beat Alabama. You'll have won on a last-second toss at or a last drive at Penn State with a miraculous throw and catch. And you're going to be the number one pick in the NFL draft.
And right before that, you're going to go to your hometown and you're going to take down your hometown team that didn't want you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just bananas. It's totally wild. So it was great. It was great to kind of revisit that conversation. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, follow us on Twitter at Hoosier Hysterics for the Hysterics. No E.
No I.
But the sometimes
why. And if you wanted to see Fernando and Alberto during that interview, it is available on YouTube. And I think it was really great for me to slip this in at the end, because maybe you just listened to it, but now you'll go over to YouTube to watch it. But if you're not doing that for this episode, look for all future episodes on YouTube.
Indiana, our Indiana, Indiana, we're all for you. will fight for the cream and crimson, for the glory of old IU. Never daunted, we cannot falter in the battle, oh, we're tried and true. Indiana, our Indiana.